Wednesday evening, 7:45 p.m., May 21st, 2025. Rain. I would like to speak on the topic of rain, or the word rain. To some, rain is musical. But there's another type of rain that is spelled with the letter G. The letter G. To reign or to rule. Let's go a little bit further and a little bit deeper. And we'll get back to music in a moment. I have brought forth a lot of content in relation to global control, government powers, militaristic mights, and a couple of forces at war and have been at war for a very, very long time for control of all. I have brought up the Knights Templar and the Freemason Society, or sect, or cult, and have tried to explain how the past is connected to the future through this society. I have provided information through my playlist and through my own content in regards to the Freemason Society, with the leadership, of course, being that of the group, the Knights Templar, who are still very much in power, in which the Freemason Society is present globally. I have explained this as well, and I have provided that much more evidence towards that fact. I have provided information pursuant to the goals of the society, which is a unification, a global unification effort. And yes, there is a spiritual essence within their society, aka as far as being a sect or a cult, in which a goddess is a part of that. And that has been brought forth in my own content as well. And the Freemason Society is also, and historically, have been heavily involved in the financial institutions, the central banking systems, okay? Money, money, money. A goal is to provide global peace. But the Freemason Society, of course, being of knighthood, being soldiers, if you will, military might, okay? This is how the process works. You have a peacekeeper, but you have military in order to keep the peace. But for the common people, you have to have something else for them, and it's something that provides hope, that instills faith, and a belief system, such as religion, in which the Freemason Society, of course, has their religion and their beliefs in gods and goddesses and so on and so forth. We currently have a president that is trying to be the global peacekeeper. I have provided information, and within past content of my own, I have stated that Mr. Trump, when he was in his inauguration, that was more than a presidential inauguration, that was a ceremony of Freemasonry and an honorary positioning within that society. And he is carrying out the goals of the Freemason Society through this peacekeeping. But remember, a lot of this is through militaristic might, through finances, and through religion. And if you know your history of English tales of knighthoods and all that, you might have a little bit more understanding. So from ages of old, this continues on in present, and furthermore will continue on in the future. So the more that you know about this society and the actors and players and the positions and the prophecies, you understand that much more. Now then, I am going to branch off just for a moment and explain one other thought that I'd like to share. And this is an opinionated thought that just kind of randomly popped in my head, if you will. And that is of the so-called 144,000. Okay? Or furthermore, the 144,000 chosen ones. And I now have this theory that this 144,000 chosen ones, there is a certain connection, and only one connection, that ties that certain amount of people together. One event, one understanding, and one belief that might prove, once again, opinionatedly, prove that you are one of the 144,000 chosen ones, which means that you have awakened and you see reality for what it is, and you understand such content as what I have previously just spoken on. Okay? And that one connection, and which this also ties in with my time loop scenario theory because of reincarnation. That one connection being the Mandela effect. And I'm not talking about understanding all these different changes to this, that, and the other thing through that so-called effect. No, I am speaking on being alive during the time period that Nelson Mandela, had passed from this life. But I am not talking about the current remembrance that most people have locked into their programmed mentality. No, I am speaking of when he passed away in prison. And this is the first memory of Nelson Mandela's death that many, many cry foul to. But yet, there are many that believe because they experienced when it happened. They were there when the news broadcasts were brought forth. They were there to see the images of the flowers being brought to the prison. That is the link. That is the connection of the 144,000 chosen ones. Those that were there at that time to witness it, whether it was via TV or in person or whatever the case might have been. There's only so many people that remember and have beliefs in those memories, and that is the key. And that is the connection. Think about it. But let's get back to the raining, shall we? Because once again, like I said, with this type of rain here, many find it to be soothing, musically soothing. But with this other type of raining, that of power, and of what I speak, would you like to see music in relation to that? A music video that flashes so much of Freemason symbolism in your face, it is just non-stop. And is this a music video from America? No. Well, Morgan, you speak of knighthood, maybe an English music video. No. But you make the connections to where this video is from, and you understand what I have been talking about. And when we talk about wars, because in the future we have World War III, Armageddon, the Holy War, and all of them have been, in a sense, holy wars, because they have all been through the society. And this has been going on for hundreds and thousands of years. And through this video, you might also come to the realization of what was going on during World War II and what might be part of the Third World War. And this is one of my past favorite groups, even though I don't understand their words. And of course I have to, check out the lyrics English version. And I like to, of course, state that as American version. But anyways, you might be astonished, especially if you have been following along and, going through the content that I share through the links when it comes to this topic of discussion. You might understand everything that is flashing in your face within this video. Well, of course, it's a hard rock video, but I enjoy it, and I enjoyed what I seen because it's like there's just no doubt about what you are seeing. It's in your face, and just proves that much more, of course, within my opinionated perspectives. So I will leave off on that and bid you a fond farewell.